We're at a really interesting little problem job that I run into a lot, and it involves drainage systems that don't work, drainage systems that are plugged up. People are always asking me how to fix them. This is something you can do yourself, and this is an exciting video. It was between drainage and skydiving, and we thought the drainage one would be a lot more interesting. As a do-it-yourself project, it's a lot of work, but very doable, and maybe a project that you get some young, hard-working people to help you with and get the right tools, and you could do it yourself. A common occurrence is to have a low spot in your yard and no good way to get water out of it. And so that's the case here. You can see the spot where water is standing. About 35 years ago, when the house was built, they decided to get that standing water out by putting in a drain line that starts right here, and it goes about 225 feet to the street. Over time, the system became less effective. I suggested to try a couple of things first, which are a lot less expensive than what we ended up having to do. So just like a plumber would clean out your pipes that go from your house, say if your kitchen sink is clogged or your toilet is clogged, that same kind of equipment can be used on drainage pipes. And they tried that without success. He also tried what they described as a hydro flush. I have heard that term thrown around a lot, and this owner told me they offered the hydro flush, which I think is quite expensive, and I'm sure it involves a large amount of water, but I don't know exactly what the hydro flush consists of, other than they tried it here and it didn't work. You can see what we ended up with here is roots inside the pipe. This one is a little bit of a problem. So you can see, like on this one, the root is completely inside it. It makes it so the pipe isn't even round anymore. The root went inside it. We can't even get it out, and all around it, and coming out the hole here. And this is just a complete clog. No way to clean this or use a roto-rooter or anything. A type of pipe was used that has holes in it on purpose, not holes that developed over time. The thinking is, as it goes on its way out to the street and the gutter, the water can go back down into the soil and you don't dump it all out into the gutter. The problem with that is those holes are prime spots for trees or large shrubs or aggressive ground cover to grow into those with the roots, and then the roots can plug them up. So step one is you take out the old pipe and dig the trench. That's done all at the same time. And as you're digging the trench, you have to cut roots because there's a lot of them in the way. This drainage pipe was installed right along the edge of the driveway. And since the driveway slopes down, it's really a fairly simple installation. You just keep it at the same distance below the driveway and it flows all the way to the street. We encountered lots of roots. It made this a very difficult job and very time consuming. We used this sharpshooter to cut through these roots and try to make the cut as clean as possible. When you're cutting roots like on a mature tree like this that has roots all around it, we're confident that the tree can withstand losing surface roots like this. If we went completely around the tree and cut the surface roots, we would probably create a problem for the health of the tree. I'm not concerned about stability. It's still a very stable tree. It actually will help down the road in preserving this driveway from being damaged. Then you put in the new pipe. We ended up having to dig all this system, this old drainage system out and replace it with brand new pipe. What we're going to use instead is this PVC drainage pipe. This is 3-inch, comes in 10-foot lengths. It has a coupling at each end, and it's very easy to install. It's not as flexible as pipe like this, but you can bend it still. We think we're going to be able to bend it on this without putting in any fittings. With solid pipe like this, you can prevent the entrance of roots. The only problem we've had when we've used this is if we put a lot of inlets. So an inlet is the place the water goes in. Sometimes the root will go in the inlet, and so you have to watch out for that. The other nice thing about this is it's smooth on the inside, and it's continuous, and so plumbing equipment can easily go in there and clean these out. The ones that are corrugated, the equipment sometimes gets caught and puts holes in it, and it's a problem. Step 3 is you test the sprinklers. It's not unlikely that you might have damaged some sprinklers in the course of this very hard digging. Step 4 is you test the drain line and make sure it's working and you don't have any spots where it's not draining properly. So you would start at the inlet and use a hose and just fill it with water and make sure you have a good drainage from there. And step 5 is you backfill and put all the dirt back and clean everything up. This is a subject that comes up all the time, so I hope it's helpful, and I think it serves to educate on a topic that is just taken for granted, but is frequently a big problem. When your drainage system stops working, you have floods, and that's bad, and that's depressing. So this is, I hope, a really helpful video. You can let us know if you thought it was, and if not, let us know how we can make it more helpful.